Megan Mooney, Director of Communications. I am here on this beautiful Friday afternoon with Captain Brandon Roberts of the Fire Prevention Bureau of the Hobbs Fire Department. So we're going to discuss, he's going to share some expertise with us on firework safety as well as seasonal fire safety, as we are already in this dry, hot climate that is also giving us some beautiful weather and wanting to be outside, and we want you to stay smart and make good decisions. So we have brought with us Captain Roberts.
Hello all. As she said, my name is Brandon Roberts. I work for the Hobbs Fire Department, Fire Prevention Bureau. The reason we're talking about this today is we have an upcoming 4th of July holiday everybody's excited for, but we do have some concerns about safety with fireworks. We have a safety checklist that we've provided here that Megan has created. We're going to discuss a little bit about our legal fireworks, some illegal fireworks, and some of the safety issues that we have every year on this holiday.
Yeah, so we do have, this is a very large version of the card that we had created, but you will see these around town and at all the local fireworks stands. They have been generous enough to hand these out with the purchases to make sure their customers are safe with the products they're selling. So they're about this size, there's English on one side and Spanish on the back, but we blew it up so that we can make sure that Captain Roberts has something, a good talking a good talking piece, and with all the details on there for you to see.
Okay, so we all know the city of Hobbs is considered a safe and sane city when it comes to fireworks, and that can be a little bit confusing. So right here we're going to talk about the legal fireworks. It's going to be your cones, it's going to be fountains, it's going to be things that stay on the ground, they're fun, they're a little bit safer, and those are considered legal in the city limits. The problem we have is the illegal fireworks is any kind of artillery shells, bottle rockets, things that go boom, and have a little bit more danger to them because they very commonly start fires. One of the problems with that is that we do have the vendors within the county that sell those that you might bring into the city. We're politely asking you to please don't do those in the city limits, as we will be out patrolling to make sure people don't get hurt on this holiday.
Awesome. Yeah, so as he said, you'll see the first bullet showing you the legal fireworks, second the illegal fireworks, and then we'll go on next. It does show those purchased within or outside of city limits. Now, the ones within city limits, since they are vendors within city limits, that means they're only selling legal fireworks, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Now we do have some when it comes to county county vendors in our fireworks stands. So one example of one that people typically think is within city limits is over on Jefferson. That's actually a little patch of land that is county property. So they are, only county laws are applicable to them. So just because they are kind of within, it might seem like they're within city limits, they're actually in a patch that is excluded. So do not think that that is one of the ones that is selling only legal fireworks. Next, you cannot sell them to anyone 16 years of age or intoxicated. So they have to be at least 18 years old. And we, of course, want you to stay safe with fireworks. We want you to have a great holiday season, and oftentimes intoxication is not a part of safety. So then next, Brandon, if you want to cover some of the pink bullet points we have here.
And right here it mentions this is nationally 12,000 people a year on average get injured with fireworks. We have several thousand fires a year. And that doesn't necessarily represent Hobbs, but I will tell you over a 3-day period, on the 4th of July, usually the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, we have multiple injuries, we have multiple fires, lots of people calling 911 for those situations. We have lost dogs. We have a lot of issues in the city that can be avoided if you take those out to non-populated areas or just refrain from doing those illegal fireworks in town.
So you said 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and sometimes even goes for the 5th or 6th because people are trying to pop off some of their final piece of product they purchased. Right. And then the missing dogs, that is attributed to the dogs who become fearful of the sounds they're hearing, correct? Yeah, so as many of you know, some of your pets, they might become fearful of the thunder claps that they hear inside. Same thing with fireworks. They'll take off, jump the wall, or usually they're good staying next to you off a leash, and around fireworks they will not. So we do want you to be considerate also of your neighbors when you are lighting off your legal fireworks. That's because they want to sleep just as much as you want to sleep, as much as everyone wants to have a good time. And so we want to make sure that those schedules are considered while we're all celebrating Independence Day. And then keep in mind, of course, the dry weather conditions.
Sure, and I'll touch on that. Along with the dry weather conditions, also use those fireworks the way they're intended. A lot of times, a lot of the injuries that we come come across are they were used improperly, they weren't shot per manufacturer's recommendations, and they do cause injuries or fires. Spin off of that, and I'll give you an example. We haven't had a lot of rain lately, and the winds have been coming in pretty predominantly lately. The rains that we have had, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, it just rained. It's not enough. Those winds have already dried it out. We're still in a drought condition, and I'll give you a perfect example. We had a small grass fire yesterday. It was fireworks related. The grass was literally 2 to 3 inches tall, and it ran very fast. We had some good Samaritans on standby that came over with fire extinguishers and coolers of water to knock it down before the fire department got there. So it's very easy for this grass and vegetation to take off and burn somebody's property.
That's very true. Also, there are areas in town that it might maybe flood over near your house or get a lot of rain, and then mine really stay dry.
Correct.
Yeah. And then, so stay legal, stay safe. If you do have any questions regarding purchase of fireworks or the stands or staying safe, anything like that, then you can call the Fire Prevention Division, including Kevin Roberts himself, at 575-391-8158. I want to make sure I got those last digits correct. But yeah, so any more questions, 575-391-8158. If you have any more questions for Captain Roberts or another member of Fire Prevention Division. All right, and we'll flip over to the other side for the next topic. Okay, so that is a pretty good area of burned property, but it's a really good description. This is a really good example of a fire taking the easiest path available to it. And you can see it's almost like there was someone directing the fire where it went, because all these black markings are actually burns from the fire. So, Captain Roberts, you can describe to us how it is that fire was kind of almost controlled so specifically.
Okay. And I'll go ahead and touch on this. We're not going to say that this fire was started by fireworks. This is just a really good example of how fires move and spread in dry conditions. So, if you notice here, these are what we're going to call fire breaks. Okay? A lot of the vegetation was a little bit green here, it was dry here, the winds were pushing in this direction, and it just followed the natural path. It's kind of like water follows the path of least resistance. The reason we're bringing this up is because you may have seen some of the fire department vehicles drive around town taking pictures of properties. We have been identifying areas of heavy fuel load that some people may not realize abuts their property. Wooden fences or vegetation this high that if it does catch and it does decide to spread, grass fire can easily turn into a 3 or 4 house structure fire that is going to be very devastating for that community or the neighborhood. So one of the reasons we're touching on this is if you have the ability to go out and mow around your property a little bit and go out and evaluate your property, mow it down, give us a 10-foot to 20-foot break, and that fire won't attack it as quickly and the fire trucks can get there. Those days that I mentioned, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, we will be patrolling the neighborhoods, assuring safe use of fireworks and looking for any type of grass fires that we can knock down really quickly.
Okay, so let's go back to the term you used, fire break. Now, can you describe for the average citizen who's not a firefighter, how they can understand what a fire break is exactly?
Sure. You know, on a road is a perfect example. One of the best tools we use for fighting grass fires is a road maintainer. We say, hey, go make a road through that field, and the fire will burn up to it unless the winds are really blowing heavy. It won't generally jump that road. So we use roads as a fire break. We use this as a metal.
You see that on highways
Correct.
sometimes.
You see it on highways. Unless the wind is really bad, it'll jump the highway, but the embers, we call those flying brains. But these metal fences will stop it. Concrete fences will stop it. Asphalt, concrete, road, dirt roads,
Cinder block
walls, stuff like that. However, you can see even if this didn't stop it. Fire department came in and was able to knock it down before it decided to run that direction.
So it's kind of those metal bar fencing that you might see for like a horse kind of corral area.
Right. And if you notice here, this vegetation was only probably 12 to 18 inches tall. And I'll tell you, some of your guys' property out there, we have 2 or 3 foot tall vegetation that is really dangerous if the fireworks get in there accidentally or by negligence of people not knowing. And a grass fire is going to turn into property loss really quickly.
And you already said that this wasn't fireworks related, but again, it being dry, hot weather, it could even be someone who pulls over on the side of the road and their exhaust pipe lights some dry, tall vegetation.
Yeah, and we'll say catalytic conversion of a vehicle, you don't ever want to pull off the side of the road in the dry grass conditions or tall grass conditions, but additionally, hot work, that's a big thing going on right now. You got somebody working on the fence. They're welding, they're using a driving tools and those hot sparks can start those grass on fire, especially with the dry conditions, low humidity, and those prevailing winds coming out of the south.
Yes, definitely. So being aware of that, in addition to fireworks, and even as we pass 4th of July, we pass these special Independence Day celebrations, we have other things to be concerned about with the dry hot weather. And we will be sharing more information regarding this. There has been a press release that we have already made out to the media, local media, and you can find on our social media. We will also leave it in the comments of this video. We will also leave the digital version of this card as well as this photo in the comment section of this video along with the Spanish translation of this card to make sure you all have access to that. Because this is all valuable information and we really do want to see what a good example this is of someone who did maintain so much of the vegetation on their property and where the fire took after, like you said, the easier path to follow. And so it's going to always go for the driest, easiest thing to catch fire, and that food serves absolutely for the fire. So any final words you'd like to share with our audience today?
In regards to vegetation, if you want to go out and evaluate your property and you feel like it's a bigger job than you can handle yourself, call the fire marshal's office. We'll go out there and we'll evaluate it, and we actually have a service we can look into potentially getting the fire break mowed around your property. If we feel that it is a high-risk area and needs to happen, don't hesitate to call. We'll try to help you out.
That's great. That's a great offer that they're going out. And again, having the experts out there take a look at your property and tell you which are the dangers and if you're good to go according to standards. So again, if you would ever need to call the Fire Prevention Division, their number is 575-391-8158. Thank you, Captain Roberts. Everyone have a safe and warm weekend.
Take care.